Rita, lovely to see you.
Hi, it's so nice to see you too. How are you? I hope you're safe and everyone's
Well,
well.
things are good in Tirana. We are standing together and standing strong, and we can't wait for this pandemic to be over. How are
I know,
things in
oh
London?
God. It's the same. Obviously, we're going to speak English because I don't want to mess anything up. But it really is really kind of a lonely place. It's very, very dark and it's rainy and, you can't really go anywhere. So it's a bit like everywhere else in the world. So, I'm just very, very grateful that, my family are healthy and we're healthy. So thank God for that. Yeah.
Excellent. So our friends from the diaspora put together this phenomenal conference. And so the two of us are interviewing each other. So I'll go first.
Okay.
You are one of the most famous stars in the world, and you happen to be Albanian, and everybody's so proud. How does one get there? I mean, what does it take to be a megastar?
Well, first of all, to be a shipyard woman in such a crazy male-dominated industry, which it really is, it is all about the determination, the work ethic, the self-belief, but also for me, I've seen my parents really work hard, and I think it all stems from how much you really want to do something. And I really believe that the journey to success is, the family that you have around you, and being from, where I'm from, and everyone that's watching this, you understand that family for us is everything. And I feel very, very determined to always push myself and my boundaries and my limits and try and become a businesswoman in the sense where I can, grow and inspire other girls watching this interview right now, that are sitting at home or in their living rooms and are really sort of sad that they can't go out, or that they feel stuck, or I was that girl too. And for me to be able to still be in my 20s for a few more days before I turn 30. No, I
It only
started.
begins then.
I know. Oh no.
I
I
know from
started.
experience.
Yeah, I started really young, and I think to have the support from my country and the Albanian community and what role it played for me was unwordly. I have no words to describe how important that role is for my community to really support me through my crazy journey. And also, it wasn't a very common journey either. It's a dream. We dream these jobs for since we were kids. And so I think that if I can improve a community and we can help each other thrive, then that's really my job is done.
Well, I'm curious because you speak of this crazy journey, but a journey means a decade or many years. I'm curious, what does your day look like? What does Rita Ora do on a typical day?
Well, my first thought in the day when I wake up is, this might sound insane, but I really do this. I meditate. I don't go on my phone for about, 30 minutes to an hour. I mean, some people, wake up and they check their phones, and it's really, especially now that we're in this pandemic, it's really important to look after your mental health. And I have never been more aware of my mental health than since this pandemic started. So I really try and chill out. I try and meditate for about half an hour, and then I wake up. My favorite time to eat is breakfast. I love breakfast. I think that's because my mum always used to make the best breakfast. And my favorite, and I'm not joking, is spita me djath and ajvar me vo. And also, what else do I love? I don't know if I'm saying this right, but the lokuma, which my mum makes with jam and honey. And I'm not saying it's the healthiest of food, by the way, but it's definitely delicious. So I think for me, I really love to make a good breakfast, and then I get on my business calls because I have a lot of things that, I'm very involved in, and we can get into that later on. But I think for me, my daily routine and work ethic is always about making sure I'm on top of everything. You know, there's nothing that really goes by, no decisions made if I'm not involved in it. And I think that is a one-on-one course that we can also discuss another time on how to really be in control of your business, especially females, and how to really just be aware of the world that you want to create and how you want to achieve certain messages. And, you know, if you're supporting a family, to really be on top of it and hands in, and it's dedication and it's sacrifice.
Yeah, well, you know, speaking of food, when I was sick with COVID, your mom recommended chicken broth.
Yeah.
So every friend that gets then infected, I say you need to try Vera Ora's chicken broth.
Oh, that's so nice.
So it's, you know, rakia and Vera Ora's chicken broth is the remedy.
Poor, it's definitely for me. It's the most delicious thing, and it's very, very hard to make. I have no patience to make that, but it's very good. It's very healthy.
Thank God for moms.
Thank God.
Rita, one question that a lot of people ask: when you first realized that you are famous, and how do you manage fame and popularity? Because for some people it goes on top of your head, and they become arrogant, they act like people don't exist. And for some people like you know, how do you use fame as a tool to do good, and how do you cope with it? How do you keep yourself grounded? I think it's a better question.
Yeah, well, people always ask me that question, you know, and for someone who I think's been in this industry now for longer than 10 years, I've realized that the longevity of a career is really based on the attitude and the respect that you show others. And I think that, of course, considering everything else, but for me, you have to really treat the people that are working for you, or the people that you'd like to be involved with the utmost respect that you'd like to be treated with. And I think that with that comes discipline, but it also comes that strong, thick skin of realizing you're not always going to get yes, because that's not life. You know, sometimes things don't really work out, and you have to pick yourself back up, and you have to try again and try again. But if I can go back to 2012, I remember the days where I was so excited and fun, and I was like, this is crazy. My life has changed. I can't believe all this fame, money. It's like, people know my name. I'm doing all these shows. I'm all over the world. And for some reason, I remember feeling like I was the only girl, one of my favorite Rihanna songs, but like the only girl in the world. And I say that because I felt like I had more to prove, just being a woman, but also being from an Albanian background and heritage, and having the ability to be extra strong, because we deserve that sense of appreciation from another female to really be an inspiration for the community and for the youth and for all the young kids. And not even that, just for women in general and for men, for everyone that feels like, wow, I can't believe we broke a boundary. We're breaking barriers. We're becoming limitless. And I've always been so passionate about speaking so openly, and having the honorary of ambassadorship for me in Kosovo was one of the best moments of my life. It really was, because I'm so patriotic and proud of where I'm from. And my parents have embedded that in me for so many years, growing up and speaking Albanian in the house, and having that sense of heritage. And I think with that comes pride, commitment, discipline, and you just become more confident in who you are. And when I now have the utmost excitement to see such amazing artists that are coming out of our country, it blows my mind, you know, and I'm so happy that I've been able to not only start this incredible, I would say, journey since 2012, and being this girl that felt like she was on her own, to now having the support of all these badass girls behind me that are from the same country, but also are doing their own thing. It just makes me feel like I knew it. You know, it gave me that sense of the relief of like, wow, now there's more of us that we could really stand alone and be a community and have that that approach of, wow, we are beautiful and we're talented, and now the world is seeing that, and I'm not on my own anymore, and it has really made me happy, you know. So yeah.
I love it. I love it. This is great. And you know, you mentioned Kosovo, and you mentioned The Only Girl in the World, but one of my favorite songs of yours is Shine Your Light.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, as a mayor, I was a bit jealous of Pristina.
Oh,
and so my question was like,
we
you
can
know,
do
how
another
did you,
version.
you know, we should do another version in Solana, right? But you know, why did you? I know, out of all places, why did you decide to shoot the video? I mean, you're a mega star. You could have picked up any place, but you decided to go home. You know why?
I think the action just says it all. You know, I decided to go home, and that really is all that it is. You don't forget where you're from. You don't forget the people that helped you when you didn't have anything. You don't forget those little steps that you need to climb to get to the top step. And then how do you stay on the top step? By not forgetting. And I feel like I have so much more to do, and I'm only about to turn 30, and I have all these incredible things in the pipeline. And to be able to say I'm a businesswoman and carry out a business that has such substantial value has really made me feel like, you know, one of my biggest inspirations is women like that can do a lot of things. And for me, for example, like Jennifer Lopez and Cher and all of these really confident women who have been able to create brands and businesses and stand on their own. And, you know, as an ambassador, I've taken it upon myself to really be vocal about how to be able to start your own business and how to be able to sustain a career for yourself and how to be able to be your own boss, or at least structure a business plan that you are happy and confident with. And with that comes, again, that self-belief, but music and everything else that has come with this incredible job for me is why I like do what I do. And one day I'll go back there and shoot something else. And I would like being the first person to do things. All right. I am like the person that fights and is the first. Like, I wanted to go to Pristina and put that place on the map and have fun with it, because it's such a fun place. Every time I went there, you know, every summer I would go back and see my family. I had the best time. It was so much fun. And I wanted to show that sense of fun in a country that, you know, unfortunately some people may not know that much about. And I feel like now times are changing and things have changed, and that was a long time ago. I mean, what Shine Your Light was, oh gosh, I would say 8
When
years
we were a bit younger.
Yes, when we were a teeny bit younger. But being able to be, you know, here today and speak about things that I've done and grow up older and watch other people do such incredible fun things and make music videos, it's like, you know what, good for them. I'm very happy. And, you know, it's always exciting to be able to figure out the next 20 years of someone's career, of your life. And that's in the phase that I'm in, and it's going to be very exciting.
That's great. But Rita, look, I travel quite a bit, and most people don't know where Albania or Kosovo are. So for me, it's easy to say, look, I'm from Albania. And us Albanians, you know, we're people like Rita Ora. And then people realize and try to put us in the map. But you did the opposite. You know, you grew up in the UK. So you're, you know, you feel the Britishness. You are in a big country, a place that gave a lot to the world, that at some point ruled every part of the world. But then you made a choice to sort of identify yourself with your roots. Why did you do that? Because I've seen a lot of people. I also used to live abroad. And some people say, look, I'm not going to bother explaining them where I'm from. I'm just going to say I'm a first generation American or first generation British. But you made a point to be proud and to explain your Albanian roots. Why did you do that?
Honestly,
Honestly,
yes, I'm going to put it into words that are very clear. I've had a lot of opinions in my life. You know, a lot of people, Rita, you should do this, or you should try and sing like that, or you should make this type of music. And the one thing I never let people touch or come close to me was my integrity and my fashion and my style and my expressionism, if that's even a word. I don't know. I think I just,
it is a word.
But being able to express myself is something that I take very, very, very close and dear to my heart. If I wasn't able to have that sense of freedom, which my parents always gave me, thank goodness for them. You know, they were always like, you can be who you want, you can dress how you'd like. And that for me gave me the confidence to know what I wanted to do with my life. And they came from this heritage. That's their background. They grew up and went to school in Albania, and that is who I grew up with. And for me, it was a very important thing to tell the world the truth of who I am and where I'm from. And I've always been a bit of an open book, but I'm also so inspired by the heritage of Albania, the fashion, the traditional clothing, the music, the artistry. And I've always loved that about Albanian culture, you know. And so, you know, you'll see in the upcoming projects that I'm doing how I'm really getting inspired, you know, fashion wise by just the heritage and the culture of Albania. And hopefully I do it well and the history will come through, and it'll be a really, really another proud moment, because I have a plan that I've been working on for a while, and I'm only telling you because you are the mayor, and I want you to have the first insight and the first bit of gossip that this is going to be a game changer. And, you know, this is again another way that I'd like to show my appreciation to my country and where I'm from.
I love it. But you know what I also love? That you're not only a proud Albanian, but you're a proud cosmopolitan girl. So you belong to the world not only through your music, but one of the agencies that is very close to my heart and to the work we do in the city with children is UNICEF. And I was thrilled, not only when I saw that you became Kosovo's honorary ambassador to the UK and to the world, but also UNICEF and taking this cause of children. How do you find time and why? I'm just curious to know, because you don't get paid for it. You know, you really have to make time to make these trips and you get involved in these causes.
Well, I think I just always remind myself where I, you know, how I started. I wasn't always, you know, me and my family weren't, you know, we weren't the poorest of the poor, but we weren't the richest of the rich. And, you know, I've been able to rub shoulders with some of the most influential people in the world that use their power for good and help everything from environment to kids to education to women abuse to mental health. I mean, it's endless. And I feel like that was my duty to be a famous person, I guess, and try and bring awareness to things that are important. And for people that don't do that, I feel like it's a really big waste of an opportunity. And I'm very passionate about the children of our future. I really am. I feel like that's really the future. And I think you can understand that as much as anybody. And I feel like if we don't start paying attention to that, it could be a big, big problem. So that's why I wanted to go and really do something great like that.
Yeah. Here's one almost final question.
Yeah.
You clearly had a vision. So you speak of what you were like a decade ago and how you grow this vision, but how you were always clear what you wanted to achieve. And I also look at the social media and everybody saying, oh, Rita and the other girls, we're going to do a song together. Yeah. Which is great, but I think there's so much more that we can do together, not only in arts, but in entrepreneurship, in science, in economy, in politics even. So you explained very well the vision you had to become successful. But if I asked you, what is your vision for the Albanian young diaspora, let's say 20 years from now, let's say Albanians 2040, what does that look like in your dream?
In my dream, that's an amazing question, Mr. Mayor. That's an amazing question, because I have so many dreams that I'd love to do for our country. And I think in my dream, my real goal would be to give as many people opportunities to have an amazing career in business. And I think that I've learned so much over these years of how to be a businesswoman, and I still am learning. And I find it fascinating that with a click of a decision or one room with somebody, or having that opportunity to know things like, you know, everything from money, being able to have employees, being able to figure out things like real life situations like mortgages and loans, and having the ability to like actually figure out how you can really plan the next 10-15 years of your life if you want to have a family, or if you're, you know, any situation that you're in, or unis or whatever. And so I think that for me, I'd love to start I would say community center, or some sort of a amazing course where you can be creative and have that ability to really know what you're getting into. So when you walk into a room, you know, you really have your bullet points, and you're prepared for a meeting, and or you're prepared for fighting for your corner. And I also want to be able to have the ability in this course to just have people do music and create and have a really artistic approach to things. So I think that would be my dream, to build almost like a building full of just courses from the best teachers in the world, to really come and start training up the future.
I love it. So my final question to you.
Yeah.
You know, if you were to sort of send one message, it's been a tough year, especially for young people. You know, we're trying to keep track with the quarantine. What time do we need to get in? What time out? We open and we close again. So you mentioned mental health. It's been a difficult year for all ages, particularly for young people. You know, some people had to put their dreams in the freezer simply because they couldn't get out and do and perform gigs. Yeah. If you were to give one message of encouragement, of hope, not only to Albanian kids in the Albanian diaspora, but to young people in general, what would it be?
It's very, very difficult. And I feel the sympathy that I have towards the young kids of our time, especially living through this pandemic, is unfathoming. I mean, it's beyond my wildest expectations to even have the right things to say. And I think all I can advise is to really try and occupy your brain, and to physically try and stay fit, or at least exercise, or, you know, do something that you are challenging yourself, whether it's starting a course or doing something that you feel like you would be proud of it if you showed someone else. And I think that with my mother being a psychiatrist and seeing how she's been dealing with the pandemic and how all the cases have risen, you know, I think it's so important to understand that it's easy to get dragged down, you know, and I feel like for me, what's helped me a lot with my mental health, because I'm still working on it, everyone does, we all get stressed, we all have moments where we need to take a minute and really reevaluate what we're doing. And so I think for me, reading has really helped me, and picking up a book and figuring out a way to get out of my head. So I've been reading a lot of crazy books, actually, weird books, but that's something I wouldn't usually do. And I would usually take about a year to read one book, you know, and I'd leave it, pick it up, put it down, pick it up. But this time I'm like, wow, let's actually finish this. And you know, I think that's what occupies me, but it could be something else for someone else. So I would say try not to focus on other people's opinions. And of course, with social media, it could be very hard, but try not to feel that life is real, because what's real is what you are bringing to the table and how you want to make yourself feel. So, you know, it's obviously easier said than done, but that would be my advice.
Oh, I love it. You are such a star. You encouraged me. I thought I had all the answers, but now I'm all psyched and ready to go. Do you have any questions for me? Anything?
I do.
Yeah?
Yes, I do. I have a few questions, not too many, but these are some questions. Yes, just easy questions, you know? Easy.
All right.
I think that it's awesome that Tirana will be European Youth Capital in 2022. That's very exciting. What a fantastic way to showcase not only the progress the city has made, but also all the Albanian traditions and the culture and having a good time with it. Have you got any plans yet with 2022, or is there anything you'd like to share?
Well,
Or
you know, we definitely want to have you back. That's for
yeah.
sure.
What do you think is
Um,
the importance, for example, to the image of the country?
but look, you know, you're absolutely right. Sometimes we suffer unnecessarily from a reputation of being, you know, locked up places during communism or having gone through the turmoil during the war in Kosovo. And sometimes, you know, people are already stressed up. When they hear of more crises and more problems, they sort of shy away from paying attention. So we want people to pay attention. And we're using the opportunity of Tirana being European Youth Capital. First, inshallah, hopefully, it will be the first year after the pandemic. So if 2021 will be a major vaccination year, 2022 will actually really be the first year where people can travel freely, have concerts back. So definitely we want to have you back and other Albanian artists. But one thing which is important is we want to use this as an opportunity not only for the youth of Tirana, but all of Albania and Kosovo and Albanians in Macedonia and in Montenegro, and having a pan-Albanian postcard to show that we are the youngest nation in Europe. No one speaks about it. You know, in an aging Europe, in a Europe that is getting very old and families, you know, have a later age. We bring flesh, blood, and fresh energy, and also a pool of talent. So I really want to demonstrate that as one of our key points: our youthfulness, not only in terms of demographic and age, but in terms of ideas and in terms of talent. And you are such a bright example of that. So I really want to make this a showcase of Tirana and Albanian youth from across the region to the world. We are planning over 1,000 events, and hundreds of thousands of young people from Europe will be coming to visit, because that's how it's designed from the European nations. So it will be an opportunity to have a big sofra, right? To sit everyone around the table and to get some people to see firsthand. And some of the urban legends about the region, I think, will be shattered when they find out the amazing hospitality, the weather, the food, the love for arts and culture, the joy of life. I think we beat Italy with a Dolce Vita big time, you know?
100%. And how beautiful the coast is, and how stunning the beaches are, and just how lovely it is to also just be amongst such youthful, like you said, ideas, which for me is the most exciting part. Amazing. Well, I have another one. A few, actually. I just have it on my iPad here. That's why I'm looking to the right, because I want to make sure I don't miss anything. I loved having my concert when I did it in Skanderbeg Square. It was one of the most craziest things. And
we had so much fun, didn't we?
Yeah, we had so much fun, and it made me cry. I just loved how awesome it was. It was completely unbelievable. And every time I see changes, for example, the bazaar, the lake park, the castle, but what really is the most difficult project in running an Albanian city? What do you think is the most difficult project for you, for any city, I guess, for that matter?
Well, you know, I think I'm just going to copy some of your answers, because it's fitting also for our line of work. The most difficult infrastructure project from the ones you mentioned, it's only 10 centimeters. It's from here to here. It's changing mentality. And what you do in your line of work, of course, you produce great music, but most of the time, you're trying to change mentality and try to push barriers to a new way of thinking, and new ways of expression. And a lot of our stigma, a lot of our dogma, a lot of our paranoia, but also a lot of our values, a lot of our ethics are in these 10 centimeters. I know how to do big boulevards and how to do bazaars and revamp castles and plant trees, but changes this 10 centimeters in which we feel that, look, we are part of one community. We can't vandalize, we can't throw trash, we can't speak ill of our own country and of our own people. And I think changing that mentality, I think it's a never-ending project. One of my favorite places is this church in Sagrada Familia in Barcelona. And the way Gaudi and the architects design it as a never-ending project. So you keep building and building and never finish it. So I think these 10 centimeters are probably the most difficult infrastructure to change, because I think it deals with our psyche. And I loved when you were speaking, and every time I talk to your mom, the importance of mental health, of keeping it together, because it's all in the mind. And once us Albanians put it in our minds to collaborate, to support each other, to encourage each other, we do amazing things.
Yeah, and I believe that. And you know, I think it's also just changing the conversation, isn't it? Just
Yeah.
changing the language, changing the dialogue. And with that comes teamwork. And, you know, for me, you've got such a strong, intuitive team, and you yourself have such great, um, youthful and exciting ideas that it really does bring excitement to our country. And so, you know, for me, I just love watching you work. It really is very, very amazing. Last question.
Sure.
I know that everybody is talking about, of course, the pandemic, you know, but aside from that, Albania also had two major earthquakes that left thousands of people homeless. How are you coping with all of the reconstruction and all of the efforts?
Well, the way I'm coping is by working with friends like you.
Yeah.
You know, one person can't do everything, but if one person can crowdsource help from friends, and what I did is, you know, I wrote to you, and you adopted a house, and then people saw that example and started emulating it. So the virus is contagious, as we've seen, COVID. But goodness is also contagious. Love is also contagious. Solidarity is also contagious. And I think what we can learn from the virus is how to turn good things into contagious energy.
Yeah.
So what we did is in the very early days, when people like you and others adopted a home or a house, especially for the extreme vulnerable. So if it was a widowed mom or a lonely grandmother, that took attention first. Now we're in a major process of rebuilding. So it's been 3 new neighborhoods in Tirana and 1,000 individual homes. These 3 new neighborhoods each has between uh, 10 to 20 flats, apartment buildings. And these individual homes are mostly remote rural areas. But the question is, uh, as we say in Albanian, "Jo çdo gjë që vjen për keq, vjen për keq." You know, some bad things can also be turned into great energy. So is this an opportunity to build back better and to build with, you know, keeping nature in mind, and to make sure that we build these new neighborhoods with peace with
Yeah.
nature and with environmental integrity, and to make sure that we do things right. And, you know, of course, some of it we inherited from Second World War and from communist days, where, you know, people were poor, materials were poor, and most of the work was done by volunteers that had no expertise in construction. But if we can now do efficient energy, and if we can do this orbital forests and surround ourselves with greenery, if we can add more bike lanes. So we are using a crisis into an opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think in every crisis, there's an opportunity to do good. I
I
mean,
agree.
you saw an opportunity and you became a UNICEF ambassador. You saw an opportunity and you decided to build a house. If everybody decides to do something rather than complain, complaining is easy.
Yeah.
To join the choir of cynics and skeptics is the easiest thing to do. There's always something that goes wrong. To go out of that comfort zone and say, look, I'm going to do something about it. And rather than bitch and whine about everything that goes wrong, I'm going to do my bit. And if it inspires others to do more, like your action did, then the more the merrier. So we're in a good moment of recovery. And I think after the pandemic and the full reconstruction of the earthquake, we will be much, much stronger and even tighter as a community.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. Well, that's exactly the answer I needed as a former Albanian like myself. But I really wanted to say that, you know, all of these plans that you have, I'm going to ask that one more time. I really wanted to just say all of these explanations that you've had and all of these amazing future plans that you probably have ahead of you. I really just want to say, is there anything you'd like to express, or that we can look forward to, or, you know, what can we expect? I mean, this is whatever you'd like to say.
Well, you know, our interview is in the context of this fantastic diaspora pep up talk. You know, it's called a
Yes.
conference, but it really is a pep up talk amongst Albanians who are getting stuff done. You know, if we work better together, and if we realize that what divides us is so minor to what unites us, and it doesn't matter if you're an Albanian in the UK or New York, or whether you're in Africa or in Albania and Kosovo, you know, not only genetically and by language, but also by mentality, we are survivors. We always fall on our feet. We are
Yeah.
resilient. We've been through war, we've been through earthquakes, we've been through floods, we've been through all kinds of historic injustice.
Yeah.
But once we put our head together and our mind together, and especially our hearts together, we do amazing things. So I really look forward to this being an Albanian decade.
Yeah.
We've put behind a lot of the worries of the past, but it's really time to look at the future. And what you've done is an absolute inspiration. So I can't wait to do more. And you know, on behalf of both of us, I want to wish the organizers of the conference great success.
Yes, thanks
you for putting us together, because sometimes we're also looking for opportunity to reconnect. So I'm so proud of you, and I really look forward to seeing you in person when all this pandemic is over.
Thank you. I'm so proud of you and your team too. And like always, whatever you need, you can just let me know, and we will be the best team. And I'm here for anything that you need. I'm very, very excited to, you know, give you guys more things to look forward to, live music and movies. And there's a lot of things happening next year. So I'm actually flying away next year, hopefully, inshallah, if everything is well, to do a project for about 3 months and 4 months in Australia. So I have really got
down under.
Yes, not that I've experienced it that much, but I'm looking forward to having the ability to come back and share those stories with you. So please stay safe, stay well, stay healthy, and everyone on the conference, thank you so much for putting this together. And to Dua Great Bolton and everyone in our country specifically, thank you for listening and for supporting me and giving me that belief that I can really carry on and show you guys more things and make you prouder and prouder each day.
Rita, të duam shumë faleminderit.
Faleminderit edhe ty, Dore. Have a great day. Goodbye.
Mirupafshim.